All right, what up, guys? Yeah, sucks. Sucks that we didn't come out and say what we wanted to do collectively as a team. Obviously, it starts with me offensively, turnovers, with third downs, communication errors. In that retrospect, it's hard to win a game when you're not on your P's and Q's and you're not dialed in. And so a lot of that has to do with just understanding what we're trying to accomplish and what we're trying to do. Yeah, definitely missing, guys in certain areas. There's also some miscommunication of where guys should be breaking, where they're setting their angles on certain routes, things like that. But it definitely was a poor performance from my part in that aspect of the game.
So you hit the big plays, but how hard is it to sustain against that San Francisco defense for the course of the game?
Yeah, it was tough, and we knew what we were playing against. I mean, really good front. You look at the backers that they have, very intuitive, and then their safeties with how they try to mix in their coverages of making things look the same. Not easy being in the back there and then having that kind of pressure and trying to read it at the same time. So they had a great game plan for us. We were hoping to have a lot more chances to make some plays, but we didn't. We had a lot of opportunities offensively, didn't capitalize, and so that's the result of the game.
Did you come out of it okay health-wise after the last game?
Yeah. I would say as good as I can be coming off a game. We'll assess some things, but as good as I can be.
So when you think about some or all of the third down plays in today's game, what, if anything, are some common denominators, or what stands out about third down today?
Execution, and executing those plays. It's not what we did today, and that was the result of a lot of 3-and-outs from what it felt like offensively, and no one really to blame but myself. So, we'll be better from this. Yeah, it was just poor ball placement, and nothing more than that. That was just bad.
How would you assess the pass protection you had two backup tackles playing, how they did?
Yeah, I think they did really good. Stepping up, against really good edge rushers, and it's not just their edge rushers; their interior rushers are really strong. To be able to push the pocket and allow those guys to collapse. And so, I mean, I think they did a phenomenal job. Just we'll take a look at the tape and see what we can get better at offensively.
So with a 4th and 1 from your own 19 down 6 points, obviously that's one of the plays that worked. What was going through your mind when you heard you guys were going for it?
Just get the first down. That's all that was. Never thought like, oh, this is the biggest moment, of the game or whatnot. Just knew that, okay, hey, like Mike's calling this play and putting the ball in my hands, giving me that decision to either hand it off or throw it or run it. So just the belief that he had in me, for us to go down and convert on that. So, I would say the same with our other 4th down that we had, where we weren't able to convert. tough. It's tough. You know, even in that play, we had some errors on that play. But like I said, we'll all look back at the film collectively as a unit offensively, and we'll get better from it.
The two touchdowns that you did have to break down each play, opening play to Sherfield and then the deep one to
Yeah, our personnel, we were in 20. I think they were in base, and so really they had no adjustments to the bunch. They just had their backers stacked inside. They ended up bringing a guy off the edge to that side, so there was a little pocket, or there was a little area that was voided. So we gave Trent the ball, and Trent turned that into a touchdown. And then the other play, we went fast on the ball, and we seen quarters. They gave us the right coverage for the right play, and we took a shot.
Well, because some of the passes were high, the broadcast team was wondering whether maybe you were a little bit emotionally charged or a little juiced for the game. How did you feel in terms of your preparation and your emotions entering the game and during the game?
I felt like myself during the game. Like I said, there's instances where I just flat out wasn't getting the ball directly to our guys, but there's also instances where there were miscommunications of I thought I was supposed to be here, whereas like normally you're here. And so just communication errors, and like I said, and we'll continue to keep saying we'll get better from those.
So as far as this season, this is the first time that you started the game, finished the game healthy and fine, and was curious, just what was the message tonight? Because you understand it's not a situation that scenario or
Yeah. I've also been on the other side of that, where I have played in this organization and we have lost games. This isn't something that is new where, we're on a win streak, then we end up losing and we can't find our rhythm. I would say this is nothing for us to worry about, but it is an opportunity for us to get better from. So don't think that we're taking this lightly and we're just going to move on from it. A great opportunity for us that we'll use and take coming into the LA game next week.
Your thoughts on Brock Purdy and his performance coming in like that?
Yeah, I thought he did a tremendous job. Being a rookie, it's hard in this league to do what he's been asked to do. I know what it feels like to come into a game being a rookie, and so, just the poise that he had, doing what was asked of him, with action fakes, with his drop back game, I think he did a great job. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, watch yourself. All right. What do you got?
On offense, it was kind of an uncharacteristic game to it like that we're supposed to see. What would you credit some of the turnovers some of these Packers teams that?
Oh, those are always, you're careful to just assume that it was one exact person. We're pretty used to, Tua being extremely accurate. I know there was a couple times that he's going to be pretty hard on himself, but at the same time, you should be able to, not be pinpoint accurate on one or two throws, and still be able to execute and operate. So, I think that the guys were a little off, and just in general collectively. But I know one thing: it wasn't because of preparation. It wasn't because of lack of detail. It was one of those things that you have to go through. I think it's important, for our team specifically, that the biggest thing I wanted from this game is to really go out there and feel a playoff type atmosphere, and do everything that they could to try to win that game. And when you do that, I think you can actually win or loss. You can get better from it, because it's something that we have a young team that needs to be able to at some point in time you have to have everything on the line and you have to be able to execute. So players, myself, the whole team really, the idea is to lay it all out on the line for each other and then deal with the consequences. So I as frustrating as it was, I think that we are well equipped and we have the guys in the locker room that collectively will take this piece of adversity and get better from it, and that's the objective.
Mike, you hit some big plays, but how difficult is it to sustain your offense over against that defense for a game like that?
No, they do a good job. So when you're playing one of the best units in football on either side, it's important that when you have opportunities, you have to take advantage of them. And I think if you ask, every player in that locker room, they would say that was not the case today. And that the point is that it shouldn't feel, you shouldn't just pass it along to somebody else and feel it, and it should hurt, but when you're playing a group like that's playing at such a high level, you can't miss opportunities, or you end up making it really tough on yourself. So I think that was a outstanding job by the 49ers defense, just the team collectively. They brought it. That team has some playoff experience for sure, and they're hungry to go and rectify some stuff of the past. And if you don't completely execute, it's going to be tough for your whole team to come out on top. So that you're exactly right. It is you're going to make it pretty tough on yourself if you continually don't make the plays that are afforded to you, and it will catch up with you, especially with a pass rush like that.
Mike, how did you feel about how their quarterback Brock Purdy did in relief, and how the Dolphins defense did against Brock?
No, I think that's a pretty good player there. I saw his preseason was as good as any rookies. I think him and Skyler really were the two guys that really had a good, real good preseason. I know that coaching staff and that team is very confident in him. It's always a tough task But when you're able to lean on some good playmakers and get the ball in their hands, and when you're able to kind of control the clock with a lot of first downs in the run game, he's I'm sure he'll have some plays he'd want to have back, but that team will be fine moving forward with him. It's sick for Jimmy and having to go through that, but at the same time, that's football, and teams get tested with their depth all the time, and no one really cares at the end of the season. It's result based, so they'll be all right. I thought he did a good job. Didn't really, we weren't able to turn the ball over as much as you'd like and take advantage of those type of situations. But we'll learn from it, and that's the point.
A lot was made about you and Cal Shanahan. How did it ultimately feel for you, and what was said between you guys?
I don't really see it that way. Don't get me wrong. It was to see a lot of people that you invest blood, sweat, and tears with, and to see a lot of people that are a huge part of your journey that you otherwise don't know where you'd be without them. That's a cool part of the NFL and the cool part of football. But it felt like another game for me. I got to shake hands with him before the game and after the game. And I'm kind of used to his routine, so I was messing with him before the game a little bit. But outside of that, it was about the Dolphins, and anything short of that, I really struggle from an integrity standpoint to have any emotions or thoughts that have to do with my journey, because that's not what the players and the organization for the Dolphins deserve. So I stayed true to my proclamation. It had nothing really else after the kickoff. It was just coaching football and trying to put players in the best position they could be to make plays, and ultimately that didn't get done. And I'll be as I told the team after the game, they don't have to worry in the least. I'll get better from the things that I know that I could have done better, and that's what I'm expecting from all the players as well.
Mike, 4th and 1 from your own 19 was a play that did work. Obviously, I'm curious what went into your decision to make that call.
I think it's part of the job is to do things that make the most sense for your team. I know exactly what's going to happen if it doesn't work, and it's not wishing in hope or living in hope, I should say. It was more that I think there was, I feel like 6 minutes plus to go. We were down by 6. Maybe it was 9. I can't. 6. And there was I was pretty confident in a particular play that I figured that at that point in time, if you'd say what's the greater risk? Is it having a 2-yard distance with the particular play that ended up calling with your guys on offense that really make you go, as opposed to needing to punt and getting the ball back, still having to drive the whole field. And on top of that, I figured that if it didn't work out in our favor, at least it was a short field, and I just it was one of those things that I was very aware of the risk and in terms of the second guessing that will happen if it doesn't work. But I think that's the job of the head coach, is to do things for the right reasons and not because you're going to possibly get second guessed. So that's something that in that moment, it's to the credit of the players that I feel comfortable doing that, and thought it was the best for the team at the time. I thought they did a pretty good job, because that is a tough, tall task. I think that there was times that, I alluded to the fact before that I think that there'll be stuff that I'll learn from, and I think I could have, done a better job with them. But for the most part, I thought they really performed and took the challenge, and that's a tough task. They have some good players, and they are they are trying to sack the quarterback every play, and so I thought they competed. I thought they gave us a chance to win, but we'll try to get better from it moving forward as well. All right, appreciate it. Thanks.